Good morning, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Sorry for the bit of the delay, 2-minute delay. Just had to fill out some information, submit some stuff online, but all ready now, all ready to go. It is Friday. Happy Friday, 21st of November. I think we have another week left. Yeah, next week. Next week, end of the month. We have been bearish, short biased for the past 2 weeks. And it is paid handsomely, so we can make money to the long side, make money to the downside. I will be looking at the trading room chat for any posts. There is only 14 people watching on my side, so we don't seem to have everyone, so please be aware. Everyone, we are live on YouTube. If there's any questions this morning, please make sure to ask. I go live on YouTube to also give advice or give ideas out to everyone who isn't also in the room as well. So we go live then in Whoop. So if anyone is on Whoop and you're watching this back, make sure to go to YouTube first. And then we go live on Whoop. So anyway, looking on the charts, I'll go to the daily just to kind of show you where we've come from. The box that I drew at pretty much last week, which is kind of this area here, we've been stuck in for months now. And this week we came again, that area comes from all of the completions that we've had on a weekly, a monthly, even a yearly time frame. So that's the reason for the resistance. It's just a case of you've had traders, institution, banks, whoever, the average Joe, being long at discounted areas on a multi-year basis, so it makes sense to sell into extensions, right? It's just how the market is. You're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, and we can come up with any sort of reason why we have those lows and why we have those highs and lows. But in short, how I view the market is you're going to go long at a low and you're going to sell into a high. It's just, why would you not, right? So it makes sense to obviously have had a retracement after that. And the great thing is with this style of trading is we have those levels years in advance, right? I mean, if we go back to 2022, that 2022 negative 62 here was plotted 4 years ago, nearly 4 years ago. So coming up into that extension makes sense to this area here. And the quality should be a lot better. I realized yesterday the quality, the outscale was off. But anyway, yeah, so we've been short biased ever since then. The BX has also been red on the daily, and coincidentally, it turned bearish after the upper end of that extension. So I am short. I've pretty much hit profit targets on every single account this morning, bar these my funded futures. Interesting thing happened with those. You know, I feel like sometimes I am short on the trades account as well, on here as well, on the live stream account. But interesting thing with my funded futures, if you are using the trade copier like I do with multiple screens like this, make sure it looks easy on this screen, but this screen is like 2 foot away from me and the brightness was on 50%. Always make sure that you are in the copier. If you aren't in the copier, but you think you are, or you have been, or the internet's refreshed, or Google is just taking it off for whatever reason, just always check, because I went to take off half of my position. I was short 2 micros per account, so 10 in total. And cut a long story short, I sold 5, meaning half of the total of the 10, 1 per account, and it only went short in one of the accounts. Only took it off in one of the accounts. So I went from being short 2 to long 3, and that's hedging. So if anyone doesn't know about hedging, most prop firms you can't hedge. Even if it was an accidental hedge, I wasn't even meaning to do it. It's a violation. So cut a long story short, I ended up pretty much blowing those accounts just through frustration more than anything. And I sized up too much, which is, again, I'm fully aware of it, right? I'm not aware of it. I know how to trade. I use micros most of the time, but I was in with 6. I think I'm still short 6 on these as well. Just as a bit of like, you know, I think the move's going to go, and if it's going to go, I'm probably going to be able to get $1,500 on these. I just need 2 days of $1,500, and then I've passed, right? Very annoying, but it is just trading, right? A lot of this stuff I don't even talk about off stream because like it's just trading. Like deal with it. But sometimes you guys probably think all I have is wins. No, I take a lot of losses. I take a lot. It's a lot of input into the business to be able to get output back out. But that's just business 101, right? So anyway, that's that. But going back to the charts, we are in the bearish structure that we have been in for 2 weeks. Just to reiterate, anyone's that new, the reason why the extensions have completed, therefore it makes sense to have some retracements back down. You can't just go vertically up. On a monthly time frame, it may just look like all we do is go up, but best believe there are months where we retrace, right? That is just dynamics of the market. If it was straight up, everyone would just long and we would have pretty much max long at all times, and you would have what's the word, you would be quadruple long or triple long as they call it, right? And you can't be triple long. It's just not how the market works. So anyway, those extensions that have traded to the downside, I will just plot them on here so you can see. We had the 61 that got traded yesterday, and that was the reason I was short all yesterday. I was actually short prematurely at the 38 initially because this is a same anchor new low draw. We had already traded down here. I had my draw wrong. I thought we had completed the 23. So me yesterday trying to short into the 38. We had a reaction on it on the previous day, which is another reason why I thought that extension was valid, but really it hadn't actually traded the 50, meaning this draw here traded its halfway back, but never completed the 23. We came like 50 points away, but a technical draw is a draw that goes to, hits the target and hits the entry and goes to targets. This is a very technical draw. It hits the 62 perfectly, and it closes below. You spend 1, 2, 3 30-minute candles, and all of them close below that line. The line is 274.75. Not one candle closed, a couple points above. Every single one of them were down. And then it was met with a violent sell-off, which was about 1,000 points from the highs to the lows. So that's 1,292 points. And if you weren't short, like we were already short in the move, so we already, I mean, you watched it live, right? Yeah, goes without saying. But we were already short all in this move, and we finally got the move go into our favor. Was I expecting it to be as violent as this? No, I wasn't. But that doesn't really matter. All I know is this 62, once it trades, is going to complete the 23 at some point if the extension is going to be valid. That's all I need to know. The fact they completed that pretty much in one trading day, 6.5 hours from, 10 all the way to the after hours at 6 p.m., 7.5 hours, so 1,300 point move, just under. It tells me that it's technical, right? And there's only two things I would do here now. Is one would be the very aggressive low to low, which we are technically breaking. So I'm aware of it, but like it's so aggressive. I'm kind of like, I'm aware, but I'm probably expecting the what would be the 62. Full halfway back, which would basically just bring you back into the low end of this channel. So this again, this orange, yellow, graded, shaded area is just where the upper and the lower band of where long completions have been taken profit. So the lower end and the high end, all that is, in fact, it would actually be there like that, and that's actually perfect in terms of where that lines up with. So that is what I would be looking for. I am currently short, and I'll break the reason down why I'm currently short. I don't think this happens today, but if it does, fine. I don't really want to trade this to the long side, but if we do come up in here, all this is going to be is pretty much probably a break and retest of these lows here. This support never held, so I would expect it to be resistance when it does get tested. But for now, all I'm really going to do is not really pay attention to, I can't really do too much from yesterday. You can't really use this as an extension because it's gone to target. All you could do is look for the low to low, which again, that's where we currently are. So I'm aware of it. If that is this draw here, right? If you want to use the magnet tool to get the exact tool. Breaking above the 62 is kind of like more of a choppiness. That's why I'm not really too interested in drawing it right now. But what I am interested in is any of the micro extensions that have gone to completion. So I can see two of them. The first one is here. This went same anchor new low, traded again a traditional, went two targets once and the 62 this morning. That same anchor new low is where we currently are, which is the 50. Ideally, risk would be at the 62, which is why I've had my risk at 340s, which is just above, and my risk is, well, 310s to 340s. I've put those numbers out several times in the trading room this morning, and it's basically where that comes from is essentially a 61, being above the 61 there. So 310s is what I'm short. My stop on stream is, and probably 330s, 340s will be my stop on the My Funded Futures. Again, the My Funded Futures it's an evaluation account. I'm kind of like in a bit of a bad headspace with it because of, I think I must have had like 3 of those funded accounts, and every single time I do something stupid on it, and I just feel like I'm doomed to actually get a payout with that company. I will get a payout. I will get a payout, but it's just one of those. So I am short on that account, and I'm kind of like, I'm just letting it be. But really, 6 micros is way too much. But at this point, I'm like, I just want to get it past, which is probably not the best mentality to have. I understand. But we'll try and get $1,500 today and Monday and get that passed for Tuesday. And yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, this is the current short that I'm looking at, and my risk is pretty much going to be that 330s. If we just start trading and slowly grinding higher and closing at or above the 62, I probably just won't do anything today. I probably would just rather wait for a short to actually form. And what that means is I would negate, or I would forget anything to the left, and I would start drawing from the right, meaning what's currently happening. So it's great to look at the past price action, but if we just start completely breaking those levels, I will just wait for a potential breakdown. And if it coincides with, looking left, then that's great. But I'm not going to just continue to just short, because that isn't a system, right? At times it may feel like I'm doing that because I'm adding in other accounts at different prices, but best believe I have a fixed area of resistance. I'm just working that area. So if I'm firstly initially short at 250s and I'm getting better entries at 290s, 280s, whatever, that just makes sense from a risk to reward point of view on average, right? I'm not going to enter all of my accounts at one price and just hope that's the best entry. No. If I'm risking 100 to 120 points, I'm probably going to get 3 or 4, 5, 6, 7 entries all in that zone. And on average, I'm going to get a better entry than I would do if I just went long at this first price. So anyway, that's the morning breakdown. We'll see if these short extensions complete. If they do, we'll put the indicators on. We know where we are, and it would be pretty much. I don't think we come down to ETH low, but I'm not really gunning for ETH low. I really just want to see if we come back down to, well, firstly the 4-hour low, but secondly it would be that 740s. But I don't even really, it's 500 points. I don't even really need. I'm happy with 200-300 points, but that's a 500 point move down. I don't know if we get it, but if we do, we'll follow the extensions down. Ideally, my low-hanging fruit is going to be 980s, which I said in the trade plan, and also 880s. So even just those targets alone are huge, right? 980s is 260 points. 880s is obviously 300, and where is it? 380s down here, which is pretty much just breaking these lows. 360. So having 300 points as a target, as a baseline, I'm risking currently 50 points. That's a 6R trade. If you work out the math on that, I could probably re-wrong 70% of the time. Again, this is not a trade where I'm going to be taking, this is not a trade that I'm on average taking, right? Every trade is different. Not every trade is going to be 6R, and not every trade means I'm going to be wrong 70% of the time, right? It's not how it works. Every trade is different, very different, in fact. So this is just how this trade is shaping out due to just how far we've come. But all this is a, in my opinion, a high risk to reward pop to short into. So again, I am short on my funded futures. Hit profit targets on pretty much every single other account. I'm waiting for my alpha futures accounts. That's why that one's not there. Done KYC. I'm just waiting for that to get approved. And then the stream account is also short, and I'm still short. Again, just 1 micro, nothing crazy, but I'm going for big targets. And if we get what we want, then, it pays for all the times where this maybe just stops us out for 65 points, right? Take the loss like a champ, move on, and wait for price to either just gun higher, trap out some potential longs, and then we wait for that dip, right? Because what we have to remember is every move higher is just giving you, if you're still in a bearish context, i.e. higher timeframes are still down, every move up is just a better risk to reward short when you take it. So don't panic if we continue to grind, but the overall trend is still down. How will we know when that changes? Again, dailies will flip green, and I understand this is extremely oversold, but you can stay oversold for a long time. Just because you're oversold doesn't mean we start prematurely buying. Like, that's not how I trade. So if it's red, I'm on the daily BX free indicator on trading room, I'm most likely going to be short. if we're in an overall uptrend, like, and we haven't yet fully completed bigger targets, like down here when we were red on the BX, you'll probably be aware that I was more sitting on hands and or even going long because we were still in potential supports. Right now, we've already completed such large targets. I'm not going to bid this for a long. And also, we've obviously ATR down once and 2 times ATR down. So this is like, the shorts aren't yet done, in my opinion. So yeah, hopefully that's useful. There's a lot of information there. If you're still waiting for this move, or again, wait for true trend. I know Sam's going to be one of the, true trend needs to break, and he's right. Like, big deviations do often lead with reversals. We've got a big deviation. I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to reverse. If it does, you know where those targets are going to be on stream. Yeah, other than that, guys, you can see on my funded futures, I'm pretty much break even on that, slightly green. And the stream account is in the money by about 60 points. I've already taken one target off at 50. This will be a 100-point trade, and I've risked 65 points. So 50 and so 75 points on average for risking 65. So like just over 1 hour trade. Ideally, again, this could go all the way back down to lows. And if I can target all the way down there, brilliant. But I can always just re-enter. So if I take 100 points, if the market gives me 100 points, I'll take 100 points and I'll rinse and repeat and I'll recycle this trade. But the overall thesis of the trade in terms of where I think it's going is right back down to 950s, 850s. So that if that's a 600, 500 point target, I can take multiple trades in this whole zone, i.e. work the area. So remember, your best shorts come when you think it's probably the most unlikely, right? Just like yesterday, everyone was probably going, there's no way this goes down. Why is this guy shorting? 1,000 point later, right? I did not think it was going to drop 1,000 points. So, don't think I'm a hero, but we managed to get a crazy amount of points yesterday. So anyway, I will end it here and I will jump over to Zoom. Jump over to Trading Room. Someone has just asked for the link, which is just bizarre. Ridiculous. Anyway, I will see you all on Monday on YouTube and everyone on what we will